All right, 3 players tangled up in this one as yeah. Gonna go ahead and put in a third bet here.
I've decided that Yaya is either 19 or like 45. He's one of those.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I think that's right.
When that 8 game, I was like, wish I had like an 8 rack or something. Like,
He just has really good skin.
so I can play the next game.
45.
850 here from yeah.
Josh
And
is
Josh gonna
ship
give him
it.
the business. All in for
Jams,
2.1K.
2.1K.
Who's that?
Sensed something here.
Well, this
or
is-
just was never folding, I guess.
No, this is blind versus blind versus blind. So this actually makes a ton of sense. So a lot of people will look at this and be like, king queen offsuit. Like, how are you going to go all in over a 3-bet to 850? Like, you never have fold equity. And he may not have fold equity. Like, yeah, may just sort of like roll his eyes and make the call here because it is only 1.3K to call. Or sorry, I saw a graphic there for a second. It's all in for 2.4, so it's actually a little bit more than that, 1.5.
1.5.
But this is blind versus blind versus blind, right? So J-Win opened, if I'm not mistaken. Josh calls. Yeah, 3 bets. J-Win folds, and now Josh is like, look, my hand is just like, I don't know, too good to fold to this. Because yeah can be attacking the open and call from the blind.
Sure, yeah,
Josh
absolutely.
has 38% equity here. Is going to get called by yeah, who makes the correct call here, given the sort of...
Yeah, we seem to have a
that he's got.
maybe a board read error.
Oh, ace high here. Oh, another queen, though. And if we're running this one time, then
ouch.
Josh is just somehow going to win this. King, queen makes trip queens against
And he rivers.
top and bottom pair.
Yeah,
queen's
has
playing.
2 pair. And
My goodness. So pretty spicy hand right there.
yeah,
as,
I'm sure
we
when
just
he
rip it all in.
found out what he was up against, he was like, man, how do I lose this when the flop comes ace high?
Yeah, brilliant flop and terrible turn. Raise to 75, 3-bet to 225 and 2 calls. So we are going to go 3 ways to a flop. Chase the only scanned hand here with a couple of trays. 10 high board, couple of clubs. Yeah, the 3-better pre-flop is cutting out betting chips. Goes for a little under 1/3 pot, or sorry, under half pot. Josh with a quick call, and now Chase here with effective 4th pair. And yeah, you just gotta let this one go. You tried to hit your set, you didn't get it. And 3s is like just so far behind, right? Like even if it's ahead right now, you can never continue. So yeah, good fold. Yeah, indeed has deuces and was behind the 3s. Josh here could be playing any number of different draws, some of which just turned into a pair, others of which just made it straight. Quick check here on the turn jack of spades, and a board pairing 10 of diamonds here. Josh now looking to go for a wager 500, 1/3 pot size. And yeah, with the way he's played tonight, I would not even suspect anything other than a call.
I agree.
You beat all of the bluffs, of which there are some.
Sure.
For sure. And you certainly lose to a lot of hands that can just sort of bet this size at the end. A 10, a jack, a straight.
Yeah, I actually think there's a strong possibility that deuces is good. That's my thought. I don't know what Josh has, but I... No,
Not
10.
good.
Just
Not
kidding.
good. Yeah, I mean, I think the call is very reasonable, but
Yes,
Josh just has...
The sizing was, I mean, there's enough things that you beat that and the size was...
quote-unquote right.
Yeah.
The size was right.
I'm probably 90% of the table gets along really well. And it's kind of like a magical little bubble that we live in where you don't need to know anything about your opponent besides the fact that you are here competing in a poker game, and that's it. And that's, it's a great place to be.
Yeah, let's take a look at this one. We've got an open here from Big Daddy Chaz. Ace-5 suited from early position. DQ here going to put in a third bet to 1.4K, so a big chunky raise here. This is almost 5x, not quite 5x raise. And now Josh wakes up with queens on 6K in the stack. Honestly, I think this is just a jam.
Yeah.
I mean,
Agreed.
like, there's no 4-bet size that makes a
Right.
ton of sense other than a min click. A min click is fine. Don't get me wrong. I think
Min
a min
click
click
or
is
jam?
fine, but I think the jam is actually better because you can fold out some of the equity.
Nope, he's going to opt for the
Whoa, the trap call?
call.
This is
I
the
don't
worst
love
of all
that.
of
Yeah,
the options.
I definitely am not a fan of this option. In this particular scenario, we know that he is actually trapping, you know?
Well, he found the flop that he wanted,
yeah,
so
of course.
he's like, no ace, no king, and I can play for all the chips. If there's an ace or a king, then I can dip out. Is almost certainly what Josh is thinking. I'm not a mind reader, but, you know, to call with queens
DQ
and
going to check back here.
invite Chaz to come along there
And
is-
then DQ just turns open-ended. It would be fireworks if you see a queen on the river.
Josh is going to bet small here. Looks to be 800, and DQ is going to snap
rip it, yeah.
jam it, and now Josh
In
is
a
like,
tough spot.
all of the hands that I beat
All right, and there you go.
are now either drawing or have a set, and no, he's gonna still put the chips in pretty quickly. I thought he might have sort of like, you know, hummed and hawed and maybe
Yeah.
gripped his skull a little bit, but DQ is just all in and behind.
Yeah.
Needs to hit it, does not. And a pair of queens is going to be best. That hand played out really quickly. We didn't have quite enough time to dig into all of the nuances there, but I think very interesting plays from both players. I understand ripping it from DQ's standpoint because you certainly can get better hands to fold on the 8 of spades turn when they check the flop, right? Like they just called pre, they can have ace king, ace queen, like people will play it this way, right? So you can just rip it when they bet the flop or bet the turn. 8 of spades, like what on earth can they have? You have a couple of 10s, they certainly aren't going to have like queen 10, whatever, like the nuts. So you're always drawing if you're ever behind.
Right.
But he just couldn't get his opponent to fold a hand as strong as queens. And DQ is going to get...
No, I definitely don't disagree with DQ's move there.
Yeah.
Josh's hand was obviously under rep there. I don't think he put him on queens. I don't know how you ever would.
Yeah, I literally just earlier today at the 2-5 table lost to queens that had just flatted. This is the craziest thing, right? Like, we've seen 2 spots tonight where Jay win almost certainly from, like, the book, whatever. All right, 5, 10, 25, and 50. Now we got an open to 200 here from Skeeto
queens
Josh.
again.
What a red lady.
Ladies.
I saw a face card.
Snap 2 other queens folded, so Josh
I
will
always
not
get it
be
wrong,
making
and I
quads.
swear that's exactly what I see.
The last time it happened, I said I saw black cards and they were both red.
Jay will make the call from the straddle position. This is once again straddle versus UTG. Comes king high with a couple of hearts, 1 diamond. Gut shot here for Jay-Win and
But,
backdoor
like, I do it all the
flush
time, and I
draw.
swear that's what I see.
I don't know. If
John?
I have Jalen's hand, I kind of like this a lot.
Yeah, but it's tricky to play these king high boards as check raises. So yeah, he's going to come in for the
Yeah.
check call, which
I'm
I
not
think
saying
is
that
fine.
I mean, I think this is, well, now a heart comes up. So that
Yeah, easy check back here from Josh most of the time, but he's going to bet 500 nonetheless. He says,
he's
no.
holding the queen of hearts. I'm sure that is, I don't know.
Yeah, the tricky
I
thing
think-
here that most people sort of think through is like, can I bet, get raised, and make the call? And I think queens with the queen of hearts is like right on the edge of betting and calling a raise. And if that check raise is huge, like, ugh. All right, on to this hand. We've got
I love when you
Josh
say that I'm
calling,
right and you're wrong.
Jaywin calling.
It's my favorite thing.
Drink your coffee and be quiet over there. All right, all right. 3 players to a flop. Ace high, Josh has the best hand. Jay Win with a gut shot to Broadway. Bones with a gut shot to the Jack high straight. Bones pre-flop aggressor is going to c-bet 350. J-Win here in position on the button. Yeah, I think a reasonable spot to peel one off. If your opponent slows down on the turn, you can probably take this one away later. And Josh, though, going to come in for this cheeky little check raise. And once again, we see the top pair no kicker coming in for the check raise. And yeah, Bones will get out of the way, and J-Win should be right behind him.
Yeah, at least for the 5 and the 10.
Yeah, I figure there's so many red chips on there. I figure I'm just gonna get them from you guys, then I could tip the
When you know that you have like 4 pure outs and that's it, yeah, you just like, oh, I hate my life.
Yeah.
Dude, get
Yeah.
those fucking green chips out of here.
And if your opponent ever just like flips over Queen Jack there, you're like, well, you just got away with it. Like you got away with it, and it doesn't matter because like King High shouldn't be
Sometimes
winning.
people
this
just
hand.
get away with it, and it's okay. And particularly in a spot where like you haven't invested that much in it, sometimes you just let people get away with it.
You're also 100% subscribing to a game theory strategy that is going to get bluffed. Like, part of your
Yes.
range is going to fold knowing that your opponent is bluffing some of the time. The goal is not to be like, every time you bluff, I call you with a bluff catcher. It's like, no, you bluff and I fold. Sometimes that's just the way it is, and you get used to it, and you're sort of okay with it. And you look at your hand, and you're like at the bottom of your value range, and somebody re-raises you, and you just fold. And they're bluffing you sometimes. That's fine. You call them with the topper part.
The topper
The
part.
topper
The
part.
topper part.
You call them with the topper part. And you're damn right. You heard it here first, people. Caitlin once again working the 9s, and once again not going to win the pot.
No. Josh just.
Well, actually, the last time she lost to the 9s, it was Ace King versus 9s. Prior to that, she had 9s, but now the 9s are no good. She is in there, though, betting a $400 wager. She is 1/3 pot, and Josh.
I don't know how I feel about
pumped.
this with the ace. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think betting the flop perfectly fine.
Betting the
turn is
no. When she gets called in 2 spots, oh, and then the 3. I mean, Yaya will be very glad that he folded this hand, but he would have rivered a boat, and it would have been no good.
In this very moment in the past is sort of like
Yaya is
wants to
like,
flip the
oh
tabor.
God,
The
gross.
Flip the tabor. Yeah. Caitlin's still betting. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, I don't like it. Not advisable, folks.
You don't.
Josh
yeah,
just
he's-
call, and
no,
I
he
don't
says
know
all
how it
in.
doesn't even. Oh, does he raise on? Yeah, kill him. Snap.
But we are solidly into the second half of the broadcast. Once again, do want to thank all of y'all for coming in, hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Actually,
We still have an hour and 20 minutes though, so don't go anywhere. Snow Monkey
it's
agrees with
honestly
you,
been,
but I don't know what he agrees with you about.
Chill as far as like
100.
being around us a lot, you know.
that's what.
She
and
hates
how
hides out
much.
in her room.
Chase here, Ace King suited.
This is also
Did make a very large raise pre. Josh made the call. And after check on the flop, he's going to donk lead out here. Not really a donk, it's probe for 500. The difference there being the fact that Chase had conceded the betting lead. So now a bet is a probe instead of a donk. Chase is going to let it
Doesn't matter
go.
what you guys call it. It's the same. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah. Jeremy here has the Gordon Nuts, King 5 suited. Josh has the Chaz Nuts and flops best, but Jeremy does have a redraw, or just a regular draw, not a redraw. It's
He's got
Straight
king
up
high
draw.
with a redraw to the flush.
but both of these players are very deep.
There
Bingo,
it is.
bango, straight for Josh, flush for Jeremy. I could see this pot going up substantially. Josh gonna bet half pot here. His hand is quite vulnerable. Betting half pot here I think is a good size because you let your opponent define their range if they raise. When Jeremy does not raise, oh, you broke it? All right, no more violence.
Oh no, no more violence.
3 of clubs.
Ooh.
Okay, so now Josh, in my opinion, has a very clear bet fold. Ooh, and he bets under 1/3. This is not quite 1/4, but just in between 1/4, 1/3. Now you've almost set the price a little bit too low to fold to a raise, but
Are they still doing streaming dogs?
we'll see.
Or
Depends on how big Jeremy makes it. I think Jeremy should go for a big polarizing raise to try to get called by a queen. And then we'll see if Josh actually can do it. Oh, wait, what? Oh, yeah, okay. Raise to 1750 and a snap fold. So Josh had already made up his mind. I like it. This is okay. Just the tip here from Josh, Mosquito Josh. Just the tip from Mosquito Josh. If you're gonna bet the river in a spot where your hand is largely gonna be good, but really far behind certain hands, be ready to fold when you get raised, and don't fucking sit there and tank for 5 minutes and then fold. Have already made up your decision in your mind, in your little, pile of mush.
No one cares about your Hollywooding. Just fold, guys. Just
No, but no, I don't even mean about the Hollywooding and whatever pretending. I mean,
you should have a decision.
that's exactly it. That's the lesson that Josh just showed us, which is he knew what he was doing by betting 500. It was, I'm going to either get called by some sort of weak 2 pair
Sure.
and love my life,
Right.
or I'm going to get raised and I'm going to snap fold this hand because my queen high straight is not winning this pot when I get raised. And he knew it before he bet the 500. He knew it the second his opponent bet it, and he snap folded it. I'm happy to do coaching, like one-on-one coaching with people.
Although he's
like
refused to coach me, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, I don't want to coach my own opponents, but like I'm happy to do that. To help, individuals, especially people like at the 1-2 level that are looking to just like try to define like what on earth is this game that I want to play, that I enjoy. Happy to do that kind of stuff, but also happy to just like come on here, talk about poker, try to impart just a little bit of understanding about these different spots that the viewer and, some of the players, I mean, some of these players just don't need me to talk about these hands to understand like what's going on or how to get better, right? I mean, like some of these people are just better than me, and I fully understand that.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm just happy to enjoy this game. And if you get something out of this experience, like coming in here, hanging out with me, and whatever, I mean, that's awesome. That's great. Just don't beat me in any pots. You got
I
it?
can't make any promises.
Which is fine. So I will try to take your money. You try to take mine. 1.2K here.
Order one right now.
Half pot size bet here from Josh. Second pair.
I don't have a watch.
Chaz, I mean, his hand is
Hey,
just a
this is the
fold.
best fucking thing you can do for it right now.
Really?
Oh,
Nope.
dude. Taylor,
And
You're so
call.
wrong.
let's go to because they're fucking dope. Good
Ah,
So
I
wrong
mean,
all the time. There's no queen on this board. Not sure where that came from.
oh, there's no queen?
No.
Oh, then his hand is probably much better than it looks
What?
like.
It's the burn card, I'm sure.
So that's Jack,
Jack 6-3 on the flop. Don't know
Jack,
what the turn is.
Jack 6-3 5, Jack 6-3. Okay, the 4 is much.
Wow. Yeah.
Pocket
well,
4
now
is
it's open
much
ended. Yeah.
better. Okay, all right. But Josh is still working with top pair with a
You
king
wanna take
kicker.
some,
And the second barrel has still got to give Chaz a little bit of pause because, yeah, 4s are okay on a jack high, very low board.
2-to-1 odds.
And you did just pick up some equity
Or 12.5.
with an up and down straight draw. But it's starting to get into like, how many hands are going to
I
continue
can't play
bluffing
those. I
here?
can't play that game.
I think you're sort of obligated to make one more call here as you do pick up
He's
this
obligated
equity.
because he has 8 gazillion chips.
No. Forget about the chip stack. I mean, that factors in peripherally. But the main thing here should be that Chaz has picked up a straight draw
Right.
and could still be ahead. If his opponent checks the river, 4s are going to win sometime. And if he improves with a deuce or a 7, it's going to be hard for Josh to put him on a straight with one of Josh's value hands, something like an overpair to the board.
At least 5K. of
So
action.
in those respects, there is still a lot of value to be had when you make your hand if you are behind. There we do indeed see the flop and the turn. Off to a river we go. Pot goes up to 8.8K, and it is a 7, and Chaz is going to drill the
The
straight
7
here.
of spades. Oh, yeah, it's the 7 of spades. The 5 is the 5 of spades. So the spade flush actually comes in.
Wait, Josh has a spade flush?
Was it like 30
I
bucks?
swear I don't think I can do it.
Wait,
That's a 7 of spades, 5 of spades. 6 of spades.
The hours that I allocated to it ends up being like $80.
Oh my God.
If you don't include it.
So
Yeah, so
Chaz,
Chaz
makes
gets
a
there.
straight, and Josh makes a
Yeah.
king high flush. Oh my God. Okay, this is upside down because now when Josh,
There it is. It's been corrected.
yeah, no, I see it now. But Josh is first to act, and he's going to check it over, and Chaz is going to go for value. And this is upside down in so many ways because Josh should be betting this hand for value.
Because like Bones made a good point. He's like, I can't do the bet.
Maybe not this exact hand because he controls the jack of spades, but almost all of the backdoor spade draws.
All in and
Yeah, and
all.
Chaz snaps
Yeah.
it. He snaps it, and he realizes that this is just the absolute worst run out for his hand that could have possibly existed.
Oh, this is a straight flush flick.
I mean, to be fair, he was behind the whole way. So.
All right.
But it's the only run out where he pays Josh.
No, that run out is
So what is this?
just silly.
And now Josh sitting on 31K.
Yeah, that was astronomical. That
Josh,
was
who is in for what, 5 tops,
something to that tune.
is now a massive chip leader at 31K. He has won a handful of just
Yeah.
so.
No, not much to be done there, though. So we do apologize for having the card read error. Did have that queen sort of in there on the flop in terms of the graphics, but you all can see what was actually out there. And just kind of a hand that really played itself because Josh is just betting for value the whole way. The pocket fours are just bluff catching the whole way. And then literally the 7 of spades is the one card in the deck that can peel off to where all of the chips go in and both players are just like, yeah, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
The additional aspect of that is that the 7 of spades on the river and Josh checks.
Oh my God, I
Like,
know.
this is the one scenario where all of the chips can go in. Because if Josh value bets the end,
Chaz just calls.
Chaz, for a lot of bet sizes, is just going to call. Now, if Josh puts out like this really weird like blocker, like 1/6 pot size bet or lower, Chaz could put him all in for value. But to check that river is just like bananas, right? I mean, like, you have a jack already, so I guess you block some of your opponent's checkbacks, and now you're giving him a chance to. Well, it's kind of just like a confluence of just like, how did we get here? But it was perfect for Josh.
It was. I want to say Josh planned that entirely, and it was just brilliant. He knew exactly what Chaz was looking. He's like, nah, I think he's a 4, man. He's a 4.
And now I'm going to check it to him. He's going to hit me with it.
And he's going to be like, bam, got there, all in.
Snappy.
Deserves a Benjamin.
Yeah, certainly could have been. And the fact of the matter is that Josh is stacking heaps and heaps of chips.
Man.
We thought that Chaz on 30K earlier was like, wow. Like,
But
holy
Chaz
crap.
was in for 10, so that's a triple up for Chaz.
Yeah.
And Josh was in for 5 tops. I don't even know that he's in for that.
Yeah, what we need is
Cumulative winning.
yeah, we need the cumulative winning.
Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, we did come back up. Yay,
Josh.
Josh, up 28.3.
That's a big win.
Yaya down at the bottom, minus 15.
There's a reason why I get max value.
DQ took a hit, Caitlin as well. Big Daddy Chaz in the hole about 4K after being up a very large amount, but
yeah.
all of those chips shifting over the way of Josh. Jeremy won a few good pots earlier, and then we haven't really seen a
He
whole
just
lot from
kind
him.
of
There-
sat tight and didn't give it all back. So
Yeah.
It's